I'm Aaron Rutten, and today I'll be reviewing the new 2023 version of the Wacom One small and medium drawing tablets. These are great options for beginners or those who are on a budget. I'll compare the two sizes, share their key features, and give my overall opinion of these devices. Quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video, but Wacom did send me these tablets unconditionally for review purposes. All opinions in this video are my own. The most basic type of drawing tablet is one that does not have a display you draw directly onto. Instead, you draw on the tablet surface while looking up at a display to see what you're doing. These types of drawing tablets are the most affordable, and while they might not have all the features of a pro model, they can get the job done. The Wacom One small and medium offer a variety of features, including a pressure-sensitive pen with over 4,000 pressure levels. That's double the sensitivity of older versions of these tablets. You can use pen pressure to vary the width, opacity, and other properties of your brush in art applications. This pen is cordless and battery-free. It feels a lot like a ballpoint ink pen. The older version had a more classic-looking Wacom pen, very similar to this one with a flared tip. Overall, the newer pen feels more sturdy, but both do not feel as durable as the premium Wacom pens do. As you can see, I stepped on the Wacom Intuos pen and broke it. Fortunately, the internal tech is fairly small and simple, so the pen still works fine. I've not broken any of the Pro versions of the pen though. I don't know if the newer Wacom One pen is more durable than the Intuos pen, but it does feel slightly more rigid. You can see the front end of the pen rests inside the rear, so perhaps that might add strength. It's also possible that if the pen broke, you might only need to replace half of it. The new Wacom One pen can be customized with or without a clip to hang on to your pocket or whatever else you want to clip it onto. The front and rear ends of the pen come in various colors and can be selected when you purchase these tablets on Wacom's website. You can also purchase these tablets in retail stores, but in that case the pen will come in the white and gray combination. Simply unscrew the pen to swap out the parts. If you're interested in learning more about the Wacom One accessories, I have a video on that. Thankfully, the pen still has two buttons. There isn't an eraser on the pen like there is on other models, but you can set one of the pen buttons to erase when you hold it down. And tilt is supported, so you can vary other brush properties like the angle or dab shape to get a more natural drawing experience. As you can see, I can simulate shading with the side of a pencil. You can even get a nice calligraphy effect. Also included are 10 spare nibs since they can wear down over time. There's also a metal nib remover. What's cool about this pen is that it is compatible with the entire Wacom One range. In addition to the small and medium, there are also 12 and 13-inch models with displays you can draw directly onto. I will cover these in a separate review. If you aren't satisfied with the feel of the default pen, you can use other Wacom EMR pens like these. Here is an excellent feeling pencil, the Staedtler Norris Digital. It has a very similar weight to a real pencil. It works well for shading and handwriting, and it even supports pen tilt. If you want a thicker pen-like feel, there is the Lamy All-Star. Again, you might prefer the aesthetic of these over the more basic feeling default pen. No other non-display tablet on the market can support these types of optional pens. One thing to note about the pens is that no matter which pen you use, the Wacom properties settings for the pen buttons, pressure, etc. will remain fixed. Or in other words, you cannot program multiple pens independently of each other, but you can use multiple pens on these devices. For those of you who are curious if other types of Wacom pens are compatible, the answer is no, unless they are EMR pens like this one from the first generation Wacom 113. These Pro pens and the one for the Intuos will not work. Both the small and medium tablets can connect to your computer or laptop via Bluetooth 5.1, which eliminates the need for a USB cable. However, since Bluetooth can get disrupted and you need to charge the internal battery anyway, a USB-C to USB-C cable is an essential accessory. If you order online, you can choose not to include the cable, which could save you money and waste fewer resources. If you already have a USB-C cable, chances are it will fit since the port is not inset very far. If you purchase these tablets retail, they will come with the cable, which is 3 feet 6 inches with a right angle connector on one end. If your computer does not have a USB-C port, you can either use a USB-C to USB-A cable or an adapter. Both tablets are low profile, lightweight, and very portable. At around 3/4 of a pound, the medium version is quite light. The small is even lighter at less than half a pound, making it as easy to carry along with you as a small sketchbook. These tablets don't take up much space on a school or office desk either. The Wacom One Small is similar in size to an A6 sheet of paper with an active drawing area of 6 inches by 3.7 inches, while the Wacom One Medium has one that is 8.5 inches by 5.3 inches, which is similar to A5 paper. Both tablets are slightly larger than that, but this extra area cannot be drawn on. One very important consideration about the small version is that if you have a monitor that is much wider than your tablet, you may need to enable forced proportions in order to avoid your drawings being distorted. When you do that, it will even further reduce the amount of active area you can draw on. As far as how comfortable they are to draw on, the small feels too small for me. If you are accustomed to only drawing in a small notebook, then it might be okay for you. But for artists, I would highly recommend the medium version since it allows you to make larger gestures. Even the medium version is too small for me, so ideally you'd want to get something even larger than this if you're going to spend a lot of time drawing or painting, but that's something I cover in another video. The Wacom One tablets can be used with a variety of software applications, including Clip Studio Paint Pro, Adobe Illustrator, Affinity Photo, and Krita. In addition to making art, they can also be used for taking notes, annotating documents, 3D modeling, video and audio editing, and playing games. Navigating your computer with a pen rather than a mouse is more ergonomic as well. Basically, anything you can do with a mouse, you can do with your tablet. I'd say the small version is better for image editing, navigation, and maybe handwriting, but for art and anything that requires a lot of precision, I'd go with the medium. Moving on to the exterior of the device, the Wacom One has a pen holder at the top of the device. You simply slide the pen in and out of it. On the left edge of the tablet is the Bluetooth pairing button. Hold this to pair the device with your Windows or Mac computer. The device must be charged in order to use Bluetooth. Pressing this button once will turn on Bluetooth, and the LED will turn blue. On the top edge you'll find a power button which can power the device off when using Bluetooth. You hold both buttons at the same time until the LED powers off. To the left of that is the USB-C port where you connect the cable to charge the tablet if you're using Bluetooth, or to transmit the input to your computer if you're using a wired connection. The cable has a very solid connection and doesn't wiggle. It feels like even if the cable has been pulled by accident, the tablet will stay connected to it. The right side has a small hole you can loop a lanyard through. On the back of the device, you'll find 4 round rubber feet that keep the tablet from sliding around on your desk. There is also a space where you can write your name if you want to distinguish this tablet from someone else's. The back side has sort of a rough, grainy texture to it. Although slicker than the back, the drawing surface of the small and medium Wacom One also has a slight roughness to it, which provides a natural feeling of friction. It feels a lot like paper when drawing on it. This feeling can be more or less pronounced depending on the pen you're using. The Norris Digital Pencil feels much more grippy than the default pen, while the Lamy All-Star feels slightly more slick on the tablet surface. You'll notice a grid of light crosshairs on the drawing surface. This indicates where the active drawing area is. Located in the top left is a small LED that will illuminate when the tablet is plugged in and charging, fully charged, pairing or connected to Bluetooth, or when the battery is low. Wacom has made the One more eco-friendly in several ways. First, they have reduced the amount of plastic in the device and packaging. Much of the plastic is recycled, yet the device is still quite durable. If you watch my unboxing video, you'll see how much recycled paper is being used in the packaging. Unlike previous Wacom tablets, you won't find any twist ties or plastic baggies. The inks used in the packaging are organic and water-based, and the volume of packing materials is reduced to lessen the transportation impact. Plus, as I mentioned before, if you choose to customize this tablet online, you can avoid getting any unnecessary cables or accessories you don't need. Now for a couple of features missing from this tablet. Since the Wacom One is an entry-level device, it does not feature express keys, which are handy buttons on the exterior of the tablet that can perform shortcuts. Still, you have 2 pen buttons, and you can even invoke on-screen buttons and a radial menu if you're on Windows or Mac. If you want to add express keys, you can purchase the optional Wacom Express Key remote or a controller like a Stream Deck or Loop Deck. While many of Wacom's tablets, including the new Wacom One 13, support multi-touch, the small, medium, and 12-inch versions do not. As far as accessories, besides a protective pouch, there isn't much I haven't already covered, such as the customizable pen parts. While it seems to only be recommended for the Wacom One 12 and 13, there is an optional stand. I cover this in a separate review. This stand does work with the medium Wacom One. The small version tends to get knocked around too much and can topple the stand, but for the medium it works well enough to allow you to draw and write at an angle. This is of course sold separately. The Wacom One is compatible with Windows, macOS, Android, and even Chromebooks. In many cases, you can simply plug the tablet into your device and it should begin working. On Windows and Mac, you will want to install the Wacom driver so that you get the full set of features and you can customize the tablet settings. For example, you may want to customize the pen buttons or map the tablet to a different display. As far as Android support, my Samsung Galaxy tablet requires me to first connect an OTG adapter, then connect the tablet to that. This OTG adapter only accepts a USB-A device, so Wacom's cable won't work. I can use a different cable or a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Despite all of that effort, the drawing experience on a phone is terrible at first. It feels incredibly difficult to draw since the tablet proportions don't match the phone. As you can see, everything I draw is compressed vertically. Fortunately, Android support has been greatly improved on the new Wacom One Small and Medium. You can now install the Wacom Center app on your smartphone or Android tablet and connect via Bluetooth or the USB cable. This app is only compatible with the 2023 Wacom One Small and Medium. Connecting through Bluetooth is much more convenient, so I'll do that. Just follow the instructions and you're good to go. One downside to using an Android device is that it works best in vertical orientation, and therefore only a portion of your tablet surface can be drawn on in order to keep the aspect ratios in sync. The Wacom Center app allows you to choose which region of the tablet you'd like to use. I think the center works well. As you can see, I can move my cursor with the pen and even draw and paint in my favorite Android apps like Infinite Painter. This is light years better than using my finger to draw on my phone, and the small Wacom One without a cable is small enough to carry along with me without too much hassle. I can totally see myself doing outdoor paintings this way. Still, this would be my last choice in digital art hardware since the display and tablet size are so cramped. Chromebook support is much better since it supports the entire tablet width, so if you're looking for a low-cost digital art setup, I would recommend that over a smartphone or an Android tablet like this. The Wacom One 12 and 13 have built-in displays, so they will work a lot better with Android because you can go into DeX mode to get a horizontal canvas. This makes the pen much more accurate. You might want to check those out if you're set on drawing on a phone or Android tablet. One thing I really like about this tablet is the software you use to configure the tablet. There's a really nice wizard that walks you through all of the key features of the tablet and describes how to use it. It's very visual rather than a bunch of drop-down menus and text. There are even helpful video tutorials at the bottom. You can learn how to use the tablet and create specific projects. I also offer a library of helpful tutorials for digital art and other creative projects. While you're here, you can also access registration to claim your bundled software. There are plenty of free and paid applications you can use with the Wacom One, but Wacom also provides some of their own for you to use. These are more geared toward online learning. There are even some well-known applications like Affinity Photo and Clip Studio Paint Pro that you will get access to for a period of time. Registration of your tablet is required to access these apps. This is made easy with a QR code printed on the back of the tablet. While this is an entry-level tablet, it ends up being sort of expensive compared to other options. For instance, the older versions of these tablets were less expensive. Once you add a pen, the 2023 Wacom One Small goes for $99.99 if you buy it retail, but the older version is only $49.95 and includes a pen, albeit without tilt or as many pressure levels. Same goes for the medium size. It's $149.99 for the newer model and only $99.95 for the older one. Buying the tablets online and excluding the cable drops the price by about $10, and in my case, ground shipping is free. But it's still pricey because you have to buy the pen separately. This really takes away from the entry-level aspect of these tablets, but I also understand that everything we buy is getting more expensive. If I don't sound super excited about the Wacom One smaller medium for making art, that's just my own preference. I'm not a beginner, so it makes sense that I'm used to drawing on something much larger with a display and more features. But I didn't start out there. I had a medium-sized basic tablet like this, and it got me to where I am today. $3,000 tablets are cool, but they make the same art as a $100 tablet, so don't let that hold you back. I know that even an investment of $100 can be a lot if you're just starting out, but it's worth it because of how much pleasure and perhaps even income you can get from being a digital artist. Keeping in mind that these are entry-level tablets for the beginner or artist on a budget, in terms of their size, both of these are more than sufficient for all sorts of creative tasks, including drawing and painting. For $30 more, you could get the Wacom Intuos, which has express keys and includes a pen, but the pen does not support tilt and only has one button. This is an older model anyways, and I wouldn't be surprised if a newer version is released in the near future. You might also consider buying a refurbished or used Wacom tablet if you're trying to get something even more affordable. Beyond Wacom, I wouldn't recommend other tablet manufacturers because, in my opinion, their quality is not as good. If you're looking for the most affordable drawing tablet that's worth buying, the Wacom One is it. That's all for this review. Next up, I'll be reviewing the Wacom One 12 and 13, which have built-in displays. Check that out if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.